Yeah, hello everyone. It's really nice meeting you guys again. I just wanted to make a video showing you guys the right direction to look in. I've already seen some people looking at the right direction, people that are able to read and understand the C assignment. I earlier released a video where I was talking a little bit about C, and I told you that we are going to be using C to learn a bunch of concepts, you know, in programming that would solidify our basis for us to grow as software engineers. That way, when we want to start writing other programming language, we already have the basics, the foundation really solid, because most of the programming languages you want to write are built from C. So they're extensions of C. So we are going to do better, you know, if we clearly understand how C works. So having that said and done, I'm going to dive right into it to uh, teach you how to study and how to do your assignments. I'm pretty much not going to do the whole assignment for you because I want you to do it yourself. But then I'm going to give you enough information to enable you do the assignment and understand every single concept that I want you to understand. Yeah. So let's get right into it. First of all, let's go to our terminal and let's do this stuff. Let's create a new folder. Sorry. Let's create a new folder and call it help students, help underscore students. Just for this, just for this small tutorial, and I'm going to cd into it. Unless there's nothing here. Okay, so let's look at the questions I set for you guys. Is the CLO world tax? Okay, I too have to log in. Yeah, I paid my portal access as well. It's no longer here, so we'll have to go to courses to look for it. In courses, we are done with grid 2. Where's that? Yeah, CLO world. This is the one we are looking for. So you have a bunch of materials to read. Yeah, I would have started by watching all these videos on this video, but then that's what you should do. Before, in the course of preparing this class, I watched all the videos and read all the documentation myself, just so I'll be able to, you know, prepare the class materials for you guys. So I've already done that. So you should do that. Before you attempt any assignment, you should finish all of this stuff. So I'm going straight to assignment tab and I'm clicking on the link to the assignment. Yeah, and I'm, everything Mingo community training program, C programming, introduction to compilation and basics. So we are learning introduction to compilation, you know. So first of all, they are saying objectives, this assignment introduces you to C programming language, its compilation processes and basic syntax, things that you learn to write a C program, you learn to compile and assemble C source files, you learn to understand how executables are, understand how executables are created, you learn to follow clean C coding standards. Yeah. The Wimingo community, its own principles and rules. You have to use comments in your code to explain what you are doing, add your name, describe your project, what you're writing. So in 2 years, when you see it, you know what you are doing. You know that this is what you are trying to do here, you know. And that's for that. Yeah, when you want to compile stuff, we already have here that you should use GCC dash wall dash wero dash wextra dash pendatic and uh, dash standard GNU, you know. So that's what we use for compilation. Yeah. Okay. So let's go right into it. Here you are seeing you have to post to this repository, and this should be the directory name for this assignment where all your files will be. You have to create this repository or your GitHub dashboard. Like what I mean by that is you go to GitHub, hit up GitHub on their website, log into your account, create this repository. Then on your terminal, whether you're using Thermox or VS Code or whatever one you're using, Vim, you're to create this directory and push it to this repository, push it with all the files that the assignment will make you to create. So first of all, our assignment task is saying that we should write a script that runs a C file through the preprocessor and saves the information into another file. You know, it runs through the preprocessor and saves the information into another file. Now, what is first thing you want to even ask yourself is what is a preprocessor? Remember, the class is a class on compilation. We are teaching C basics. This is the beginning class. First thing, for your code to run a C code, you have to know about compilations. You have to know that there are different stages of compilations. So if we hit up a browser and you just say stages of compiling a C code, it's even compiling it for me. Yeah. So you are seeing here that it involves a preprocessor. Let's open this stuff. Yeah, so the preprocessing stage is the first stage, after which the compilation is done, assembly, and then linking. You know, so this is the piece of information that I wanted you guys to have. You know, it's a very simple piece of information, but it makes a lot of difference for you to understand how C code is being compiled. You know, so first of all, you need to know the question says, let's go back to that question. So you see what the question is actually saying. This question is saying, write a code that runs a C file through the preprocessor and saves it. In essence, we are looking for the code that will run this code through only the preprocessor in the compilation stage and saves it, the results, into another file. The file name will be stored in a variable. In essence, our code we are writing, we are storing the file name in a variable. So when we want to run the code, we are going to give the variable the name of the file. We are going to pass the name of the file into the variable before running it. So first thing we do is we find out what it is, what flag we give to the GCC to make the GCC compile the code and stop at the preprocessing stage, you know. And that is the, if I'm not mistaken, -E. So if we write a code and say, let's go to here, and the file was 0-preprocessor, if we should say, um, vi, let's use vi, and say 0-preprocessor, okay, and we open it. Now, to run a bash script, you have to say I first. To run a bash script, you have to add this to the top of your script. This tells the computer that we want to run a bash script. Okay. Now, this file, the command we want to give to this file is gcc. Gcc is the command we use in compiling, you know, for us using the Linux terminal. We are working on a Linux terminal here, Ubuntu operating system, you know. GCC is what we use in compiling. We want to give it the -E, and after giving it the -E, we would want to give it the file name that it should be compiling. But this time around, the assignment said that we shouldn't give it the file name, that we should give it a variable. We should store the file name in a variable. It was clearly written there. I'm going to open it again and read it. Yeah, it says into another file. Yeah, write a script that runs a C file through the preprocessor one, which is what we've done, gcc-e, and now we are saying and save the results into another file. Now, what file are we going to save this result to? First of all, we say the C file name should be stored in a variable. This is the variable that we should use, C file. Okay, So let's go back to our code there and do this saving. So we are doing this, we are storing this stuff in C file, all caps, okay, all capital letters. Yeah, so that's basically what we are doing. We are storing this stuff in C file, and I'm going to save this and head out of VS Code. And then in my terminal, I'm going to export this stuff. I wrote this stuff down so it doesn't confuse you, because I know a lot of you are still struggling with understanding how bash and terminals are. So if you go back to your question, it's showing you, first of all, it's saying that the output should be saved in, oh, we haven't done something about this one. This one says that the output should be saved in a file C. So we are going to tell the script, we are going back into VI. I didn't see that one. And we are going to tell the script that after running, you know, this C file through the preprocessor, that it should dash O, it should print an output and save it into a file. The output dash O should be saved in C. And let's go back out of this code, and then here, let me show you, so you keep seeing that you have, see how you give the variable C file, you know, you name it, you run the file. This is the file we want to run through the preprocessor, main.c, and it's going to be saved in this variable. And this export, this whole thing should be written in our terminal here. Let's say vi sorry, before I do this stuff, let's first of all, yeah, let's do this stuff. So vi this, so we've done that. Yeah, so we've done that. Now we have to make in order to run this code, we have to make this file executable. So we say chmod, let's give this user execution permission for this file. That's what I've just done. Now if you look at the file, you see that the file is in green colors. Yeah, so now that the file is executable, the next thing we want to do is we want to run the file. Oh, come on, no such files as main.c. We did not create the main.c file. So we need to write C code, a basic C code that, you know, outputs something to the screen, maybe an hello world. So the first thing we should do is to create the main.c file, because the computer does not have the file to run, but then it knows through the variable that we created here in this terminal that it should be running a C file. Remember, we did not put the name, it should be running a main.c file. Remember, we did not put the name of the main.c file inside the code, inside 0-preprocessor. We set it through the terminal here. And now the terminal is passing main.c to preprocessor, and preprocessor is trying to run the main.c file, but then it's not seeing the main.c file, so we have to create it. So the next thing we should do is to go do main.c, vi main.c, and we should start by, you know, say hi here. Yeah, we should start by creating a basic C file, and that would make us do something like include this. We are going to bring in the standard IO, input output, and this used to have a .h. And then the next thing we do here is int main. We can make the have void as a parameter, and then we do our colons, open and close. These are the two ways they write this stuff. You can either put the colon here, or you put the colon down here, and then you do a tab space. You know, here you do a simple printf, and we pass hello world, as our first, you know, yeah, we pass hello world. We can as well, after passing hello world, do a small line break after that. And then in C, after every line of code, we need to return something. So we can return 0, you know. After hello world, you need to end off every line of code with uh something like this. So that's how it works. Okay. With you have to end up every line of code with a semicolon. That's how it works. So having done this, we should leave this file ls. It's good practice to make this stuff executable as well. This file executable. Uh, chmod. Let's give the current user. Let's give permission to every file. That asterisk I put here gives this permission to every file in this directory. That's the meaning of what that is. Yeah. So right now we can now run the code again. If we run the 0-preprocessor now, it's not giving us any error anymore because it has seen the main.c file. If we do an ls, you will see that it created the c as the question, as it said we should print out this stuff. So see what it is. Where was that question? Um, yes, that question. Where is that question? Yeah. So it says our output should be saved in the file C, and that's why I put the -o to tell the computer that it should print an output and it should save it in C, in the file called C. So that's that. That's that for this task. 0-preprocessor. If you've done that, then you are successful. You've done this stuff well. These other tasks here saying write a script that compiles a C file but does not link. It compiles a C file but does not link. In essence, it starts the preprocessing and then it does the compilation, but then it stops after the compiling. Yeah, and then it stops after the compiling. You know, so that's what it is. It's very simple. What you need to know is what code compiles a file. It's so simple, as simple as that. I think that GCC-C. So you go look for all the flags, you know. Remember, I was teaching you in the terminal how to find flags and all that. So you don't have to, you must not use man documentation. You can use Google searches, you can use ChatGPT, but then this assignment is very simple. It's just how to compile a code that has been written, you know. That's the beginning of this stuff. I can rush through this one dash compiler. I guess that's what it is. So VI, this one is very simple. It's saying VI one dash compiler. Yeah. And in here, we want to tell the computer to understand bash code. Yeah. So bin/bash. That's what it is. So here we are doing GCC-C compile, and it's simple. We give it the let's use the same variable name, and that's that for this one. Oh, come on, bro. Okay, I used a capital X instead of a small x. So that's what it is, ls. So we have it. First thing we do is to make it uh, an executable file, you know. And this is it. Our computer now knows how to run C files. You know, he knows where to stop in the compilation process. So we are getting there. We now know how to run our files in C programming language. I also, in because of doing this, I was forced to write an hello world program for you. So that's me. I've even started doing the remaining taxes. You know, you have if statement to build, else statement to build. These things have been taught in the materials that I gave earlier. I don't think I should help you do that too. Should I? Should I not? Should I not? Should I not? Should I not? I don't have time for this stuff. Anyways, so this is the difficult part of it. I've taught you the one that I feel like will be confusing. If we should run this, what does the question say? Uh, oh, okay. My stream went off because I ran out of space on my computer. I've been using this computer for like a lot. Where did I stop? I think I stopped at where I wanted to compile the yeah, this code. That was what created this. So let's delete this file again because the the whole thing went off when I was trying to do this stuff. So let's ROM this file. Main.o. We are deleting that. It's no longer there. So let's run one dash compiler again. And ls, you see, it creates the file the same way the assignment requires it to. So the assignment says, I'd said a whole lot that went off that didn't record, you know. I'd already said a whole lot. So the assignment said that it's going to, you know, add the extension .o to the file when we compile it. And then after compiling, it actually added the .o uh, assignment. We created the same file name with the .o, which this place is saying, the output should have the same file name, but with the extension .o. So that's that. That's to show that the compiler ran. We've tested the preprocessor, and now the next one is for you to go find out what flag to give to your script to run the assembler and all that. And then after that one, you'd start little things, write a script that compiles a C file and creates an executable named C is formed. We've done that. From what we've done, you know, you should know how to give a script the name you want, to make the script to create this C is formed file. I've done it in front of you. I've done a little things that should give you ideas. Puts, yeah, how to write a C program that prints a line of code to the screen. I've already done one in main.c file. We printed a line of code, hello world. So you go look at it. Go look at puts. What to change in that line of code that would make you to use puts instead of printf. I use printf. So you should go look how to use puts. It's in your materials, the materials that I sent to you. Here they are saying do the exact same thing. Write a line of code that prints this. Write a C code that prints this, but this time with printf. I've already used printf to print something else, so that gives you an idea of what to do or how to do this stuff. So that same thing you should do everywhere. One of your documentations will teach you how to solve this one, all of this. I think that's in the everything you need to know about C. Uh, Everything here is accounted for. Every single thing here is accounted for in your material. So you go learn. Peer learning is active right now. I'm not here to solve the problems for you. In software engineering, we can only teach you and grow your minds to solve the problem. But we cannot solve the problem for you. That's not how to teach you. If I keep writing every code here and solving every problem here, you're not going to learn anything and you're never going to become a software engineer. So you have to stress your mind. Software engineering is problem solving. You try as much as possible to understand the problem. Then you try to learn about the problem that you've understood. So first thing we did in this question when we attacked it, I was trying to attack the question like a beginner would, and I found out that they wanted me to run a code, compile the compilation process for compiling a file, a small code I wrote in a file, and it should stop at the preprocessor. And then I thought about it. How do I go learn about a preprocessor? What is a preprocessor? You know, and we did the same thing for assembly. I already knew, but that's what you should be doing. So that's how to learn. Go and learn about every problem that you find. Don't just say, oh, you know the problem, you start writing code. No, don't do that. That's wrong. That's not how to learn in software engineering. Once you find out what the problem is, take some time, take ample time to go learn about the problem. After learning critically about all areas concerning the problem, then you can start writing code. Don't just jump to your computer. You get frustrated if you do that. So learn about the problem before you write code.